First, you have to understand what the Septuagint is. That's the Greek translations of the Hebrew scriptures, which were done a couple hundred years before Jesus Christ. Six scribes from the 12 tribes of Israel went to Alexandria, Egypt, and they translated the Hebrew scriptures into Greek. It took them a couple of months, and when they came out, apparently they were all the same, so they knew they were translated correctly. And in the Septuagint, that verse does read, they pierced. And this is before Jesus was around, so how can the Jews be right? Well, what a lot of people don't tell you, especially when missionaries come to your door, if you get into an argument about this subject, they'll tell you that they won't tell you that it was just the 5 first books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, and Deuteronomy, that were translated. And the other books, the one in question, Psalms and Isaiah, they were translated at a later date. And we know that in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the early Christian leaders, Christianity had gained momentum by that time, they came along and scrubbed up some of the mistakes that were in there. So we're going to look at some sources, and we're going to journey into the Bible.
Now on this scrap of paper that they found in the cave at Nakhal Hever in the Judean desert, you'll see it circled in red. It says Ka'aru, not Ka'ari. The Yud, which is the little apostrophe looking letter, it's extended here. That means it's a Vav. It's now a vowel. That sounds like oo. And when you say it out loud, it sounds like the word for Doug, which is karu, without the aleph. Whatever this is on the scrap here, it's spelled wrong, and this word does not exist. Furthermore, here's something else to consider that casts doubt on the integrity of this fragment. You'll notice next to the lion, or pierced, the non-existent misspelled word for pierced, you'll see the iria, which means my hand. And it's supposed to be a yud, a resh, and a yud. It looks like the little apostrophe, the 7, and the apostrophe. When you add that other letter at the end, the het, that feminizes the word, and it means her hands.
Now, just for the sake of humoring the Christian side of the argument, we must ask ourselves, what if it did say karu, which means to dig? Or to excavate? The problem is the word karu refers to like the ground, like digging a well. It doesn't refer to digging into a person or piercing a person. There's already a word for pierced in Hebrew.
The word for pierced in Hebrew is dakar. It's 3 letters, dalid, kaf, resh. So how do we know that the Septuagint didn't say pierced in it? Because it would have been quoted by the authors of the Gospels as a prophecy being fulfilled, just like they mention everything else as a prophecy being fulfilled. Look at Psalm 22 starts with, my God, why have you abandoned me? That's the same thing that they use in the Gospel of Mark when Jesus dies. That's the last thing he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Look at verse 8 from this psalm. All who see me mock me. They curl their lips and shake their heads. That's what happened to Jesus in the Gospel of Mark. Those who passed by hurled insults, shaking their heads. There's another one, Psalm 22, verse 19. They divide my clothes among themselves, casting lots for my garments. And in Mark 15, same thing happened to Jesus. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get.